Sometimes that poverty is only being hungry, naked, and homeless. The poverty of being unwanted, unloved, and uncared for is the greatest poverty. We must start in our own homes to redeem this kind of poverty.
During the campaign, this group of students beside us have stayed outside for 5 days and 5 nights, effectively homeless. All the donations that we raise this week will be given to Resource Assistance for Youth, who provides resources for homeless youth in the city.
I think that when we started here, our reason was to be better human beings and to kind of break down some of the indifference that we felt was around the University of Manitoba.
And reality actually hit us, and we were trying to go to bed that night, and the wind was in our face, like we're sleeping in a hole.
That's for the entire week, and we were never trying to be homeless. We weren't homeless. We were temporarily displaced.
Many stories were heard of students coming to visit us and saying, hey, I was actually homeless for 2 months, and now I'm a student here. And it definitely opens your eyes to, you don't know everybody's story. You
I don't know, just kind of down on their luck, but you know, like they all had a story. They wanted to come talk to us. We wanted to hear it. We wanted to talk to them.
And walking by someone on the street, like, hey, what's your story?
The fact that the people who are actually on the streets, they don't know when their next hot meal might be. They don't know when is the next time that they're going to have shelter to go to.
I tell them it's these people that actually have to do this more than 5 days. That makes me, and I think these people do this as well.
I was guilty of judging and ignoring before. I'll never do that again, never ever. And I promise to everybody here and to myself that that will never be acceptable. So today I've been given the opportunity to be the voice of that single mother who's going without to feed her child, that panhandler on the corner who's looking for a warm, dry place to go, the prostitute looking to feed her next addiction, and the mentally ill. Most importantly, the children who have gone missing on these streets and who have died struggling on these streets. You know what all these youth have in common? They have feelings. Feelings of being rejected, abandoned, victimized, and scared. Studies from the University of Winnipeg have shown that 40% of our youth homeless reported physical abuse 1 year prior to leaving their home. And 20% of these girls and 8% of these boys living on these streets have reported sexual abuse within their years prior to leaving their home. Over half of us have reported suicidal thoughts, and a quarter of our youth have followed through. People say, oh, they're young, they're strong, why can't they just get a job? They're just bums. Well, it's not that easy. These youth have limited education, limited supports, and no set address. Many of these youth are undiagnosed with major depressions, anxiety, and mental illness. Often our youth turn to panhandling, drug dealing, and even the sex trade for a source of income to get their next meal, a place to stay, and even sometimes for love. Every youth comes to a point in their lives where they ask themselves, I want change. I don't want to be here anymore, but where do I go? I can't go home. So ask yourself, what would you do if you were only 13 years old on these streets with no place to go, no food to eat, and no one who even cares that you're there, and you can't go to your house? And why I use the word house is because home is where the heart is. Home is where you feel safe and comfortable and loved. So again, I ask yourselves, what would you do? These youth have not only been victimized, but they also been abandoned. Abandoned by their families, community, and these government agencies. Statistics have shown 85% of our youth have been in care or are in foster care. 50% of these young women have bare children, while 38% of our youth are parents. We all need to remember that these are just kids looking for sanctuary, help, and unconditional love. For these youth that have found resource assistance for youth by word of mouth have quite often found these three things: sanctuary, help, and love. Such as myself, I was born into these streets without a chance. I lived my childhood and my adolescence by the code of these streets, but I found sanctuary, I found help, and I found love. I was given the opportunities, given the chance, and I was given hope. And unlike my childhood friends and my street family, I am standing here today